What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
We are live from Spartan Arena at Homestead High School for the first SAC home doubleheader of the 2021-2022 season as the Bishop Luers boys and girls take on both top 5 Homestead Spartan teams. Good evening. I'm Anthony Gery, joined alongside color broadcaster Noah Lancz and sideline reporter Jenna Lane as we are just under 9 minutes away from tip-off of tonight's game. And Noah, over the last 4 and even 5 games for the Homestead Lady Spartans, they have been playing some of their best basketball since their 2017 state run.
And this team is really finding their rhythm right now. 5 straight wins ever since that Noblesville loss, their only loss of the season. And they've been led by Ayanna Patterson. You wouldn't expect them to be led by anyone else, but she's just been on a tear. And especially in the last 2 games, she played so well. And the one win there that stands out the most is South Bend, Washington. South Bend, Washington was rated number 1 in the state, regardless of class. They come here to Fort Wayne, and Homestead gets a huge win.
And you see the 2 big SAC wins to start the season, 2-0 inside the SAC, 1 over rival Carroll by an astonishing 20 points, and then Ayanna Patterson's best game of the year at Bishop Dwenger.
And she had 34 points in that game, 11 rebounds, like you said, her best game. She's just been so dominant, and a real highlight of that game was an attempted dunk, but either way, she's just putting on a show.
And now let's get into the OPS pregame show, starting by taking a look at the amazing basketball Ayanna Patterson has been playing, especially over the last 2 games. 34 points against Bishop Dwenger, her second highest ever, and then 33 points against Notre Dame Academy. That 67 combined points over the last 2 games is her highest in back-to-back games total in her career.
And Patterson has been doing it all offensively and defensively. Everything is centered around her, and she's just been dominating. You see, she became the career rebounds leader, and she still has so many games left on the season. She's averaging 26 points and 10.7 rebounds, and then just huge wins, not missing many and making so many shots and double-doubles in both of those last 2 games.
And Ayanna Patterson, 3 blocks against Notre Dame Academy from Ohio. Like you said, she's getting it done offensively and defensively. And we've also started to see her pass the ball a lot more. This offense for the Spartans is clicking. It's led to their success. And the 4 and 3 assists for Patterson have been a key factor for the offense.
And prior to that last game against Notre Dame Academy, Patterson actually led the team in assists, or tied for leading the team in assists in the 3 games before the last game. And it's just because she draws so much attention. She gets the ball down low, and she's getting double and triple team. And if she's not scoring, then she's passing it out, finding open teammates, and they're usually knocking down shots.
And this team overall has just been so effective, led by Ayanna Patterson. However, another game the size of the last 2 might not come tonight for Ayanna Patterson as we take a look at the opposing Bishop Luers Knights. The last 6 games for Bishop Luers have been pretty low-scoring games.
And they really play like Huntington North. We saw Homestead have their lowest points scored against Huntington North, which was 43. It was a very low-scoring game in that one, 43-35. And the Luers are going to look to slow it down just like Huntington North did. On the season, Luers is only averaging 41 points, and in the last 6 games, they've only scored 35.5 points per game while giving up 45 points per game. That is not a good sign for a team, and that shows that you're struggling.
But the 45 points per game that they allowed could be trouble for Homestead, although they are such a high-powered and efficient offense. they could really have some trouble scoring the ball or getting a lot of points on the board going against the slow tempo of Bishop Luers.
They definitely could struggle against this team, but Homestead's really going to look to push the pace and play their way, and Luers is going to do everything that they can to slow down this high-powered offense.
And that'll take us to our first break here on the OPS pregame show. When we come back, we'll take a look at where each of the teams fare in the SAC, our keys to the game, and a sideline interview with the Coach Parker. You're watching Homestead High School Hoops on Homestead Live.
To get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to the pinnacle of Southwest Allen County. That's right, Spartan Arena, as the clock is ticking down to the start of tip-off. And now, let's take a look at the current SAC standings on the girls' side of things, as the Spartans remain atop the SAC teams, while Bishop Luers is looking to climb.
And not much has changed since we last saw these rankings on Saturday against Notre Dame Academy, just because teams have not been playing this week with finals. But still, Homestead and Snyder atop of the conference, 4-0 and 2-0, the only undefeated teams remaining here. And they're going to have a fun matchup January 14th. Snyder really moved up in the most recent 4A poll. And the biggest shocker to see here is Southside, a team that had been in the top three the past 5 seasons, and this year they're in the bottom 3.
And now, as the band gets ready to play the fight songs in the background, you can hear it blaring here at Spartan Arena. We're getting set for this game. This game, obviously, having a lot of SAC implications as Snyder really looks to climb. They look for Homestead to lose tonight and climb up into that number 1 spot. However, if Homestead wins that game, January 14th versus Snyder, could be the matchup for the ages.
I think it definitely will for conference play this year. In the past, it had been Carroll or Southside against Homestead, often being the matchup for the ages, but Snyder has looked really strong to start this season.
And now let's take a look at our keys to the game, starting with Homestead. They really need to push this tempo against the slow Bishop Luers offense.
And Bishop Luers is going to do everything that they can to slow down this game and not allow Homestead to get into their normal tempo. And Molly Stock is going to try to push the pace as much as she can. She's the point guard of the team, a very fast player, alongside Emma Royce, another guard who is a fast player. They're going to look to push the pace whenever they can.
And also for the Spartans, they've got to play very, very aggressive defense. When they were able to impose a full court press by Molly Stock against Huntington North, a very similar team to Bishop Luers, as we've mentioned, they were able to blow them out of the water and take control of the game.
And when you play a slow-paced game, the downside is it's hard to score and hard to get back into games. You're going to have to play faster pace, which is what Huntington North was forced to do, and it did not work in their favor. So Molly Stock is definitely going to look to press as much as she can.
It's going to be all up to Molly Stock for the Spartans. And now for Bishop Luers, their keys to the game is really don't let Homestead play their pace. If it's possible, slow them down and make them uncomfortable to force turnovers.
And we'll see if they try to bring a press to slow down that Homestead offense. And Homestead has really struggled against the press this season. We've seen Ashlyn Shade in that Noblesville game give a lot of struggles to this team. And it's definitely going to be an important point of this game, just the tempo of it.
And the last key is this might be the first time since other than South Bend, Washington, that a team might have a rebounding edge against Ayanna Patterson. It's going to be all up to Addie Schenk to rebound, and rebound.
And she's averaging 13.1 rebounds per game this season, more than Ayanna Patterson's. That is just crazy to hear. She's only a sophomore, 6 foot tall, so Ayanna Patterson still has the height matchup, but the rebounding game could be where the game is won in this one. A game ago against Notre Dame Academy, Homestead won the rebounding game by 12 boards.
in that game versus Notre Dame Academy, just the rebounding game. If a team wins it, they're going to win the game. That's really what it comes down to. But if a team can impose any sort of pressure on Homestead's rebounding, they have a chance.
And especially with a slow-paced game, if you're allowing a team to get second-chance points, which is what Homestead and Ayanna Patterson look to do all the time, she gets a lot of her misses and then is able to convert. But a slow-paced game, you're going to want to get every single rebound that you can and not allow second-chance points.
Coach Mark Pixley for Bishop Luers has a winning record as he is in his 8th year, but he is only 1-8 against Homestead. So despite his 94-81 record, 1-8 against Homestead, can he really have a shot at another win tonight?
It's definitely going to be really tough, and a lot of teams struggle against Homestead. This is one of the best programs here in Indiana, one of the best in the SAC, so a lot of SAC teams struggle. Coach Parker's 8-4 against Luers, and then like you said, Mark Pixley 1-8. He's had his struggles, and it looks like it could continue today.
Homestead has just had complete control over the Lady Spartans in the past, and now we're going to send it down to the coach who is 8-4 against Bishop Luers, the Coach Parker standing by with lovely Jenna Lane.
Thanks, Anthony. So, Coach, right now, Homestead seems to be playing their best basketball of the season. So what will it take tonight to remain undefeated in conference play?
Well, I think we're going to have to do a very good job moving the basketball on offense. I'm expecting to see a lot of zone out of Luers tonight. So we're going to have to make sure we get Yana involved in the game, get the ball underneath the zone, get her established, and then it'll open up a lot of opportunities for our shooters to shoot the basketball. And then, as always, I'll tell you every night, we got to be good defense. We got to rebound the basketball.
All right, thanks, Coach, and good luck. Anthony, back to you.
Coach Parker just further proving our point that rebounding is so important.
And he said that rebounding and then dealing with the zone game for Bishop Luers is going to be very important. Homestead has struggled against the zone, and they're just going to need to win the rebound game.
Homestead Spartans versus Bishop Luers here at Spartan Arena, the first doubleheader in the SAC. Stay tuned for game number 1.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Spartan Arena for Homestead versus Bishop Luers as we take a look at the starting lineups.
And for Bishop Luers, they have got a 4-guard set, and then the one Addie Shanks, the tallest player for them, who's going to match up against Ayanna Patterson. The first is a freshman 5'9" guard, Maggie Parent. The second, 5'6" senior guard, Celia Irick. The third, Anna Parent, sister of Maggie Parent, 5'9" senior. And then the last one is Addie Shank, that 6-foot sophomore.
Addie Shank will have the tall task as we look at the Homestead starters, starting with Emma Royce, the sophomore, the role player for Homestead. Biggest role on the team, passing the ball around, does it all. The junior, Molly Stock, in her 3rd year. Sharpshooter, Homestead's most consistent so far on the season. Then the new and recent Omaha Division I basketball commit, Allie Stevens, makes her way through the tunnel. And the senior captain, the leader of this basketball team, Maggie Kinsley, you'll always see her with a smile on her face, no matter what the score is. And now, number 34 for the Homestead Spartans, a player with no injury. It's Ayana, the Beast Patterson. She can do it all over the basketball court. Incredible job in the season so far for Ayana Patterson, and she'll look to continue it tonight.
And all eyes are on her every single game. She's averaging 26 points and 10.7 rebounds. She's just such a threat on both sides of the floor.
And the biggest highlight, or one of the bigger highlights for her, is that she has not yet lost a single tip-off. As we take a look at our officials of tonight, Lynn Blevins, Michael Fuqua, and Nate Perry. They will be officiating both boys and girls basketball games tonight. Ayana Patterson wins the tip with ease, 11 for 11 on the season as the Spartans start up against the zone defense for Bishop Luers. Allie Stevens, quick check for 3, nothing but net. Recently committing to play Division I basketball at Omaha, and knocks down a 3-pointer to kick us off.
And Coach Barker talked about playing against the zone. When you play against the zone, you're going to have a lot of open shots. And Molly Stock and Allie Stevens are going to knock most of them down. They're just so good from behind the arc.
Don't let either of them get an open look, because like you just said, they will knock it down 9 out of 10 times with no pressure. Bishop Luers on offense, trying to go against this Spartan defense who has been electric all season long. Underneath to Shank, and it's stolen away by the actress, Emma Royce. Patterson down low, Euro step, no good. Gets her own rebound and puts it in, padding her stats. 2 points, 1 rebound.
It's just so hard to stop her. She's coming down on the fast break, and she goes up with it, and it's hard to contend with her. But then you've got to go back up when she misses and get that board. You've done the first part to stop her, but you don't get the board. And that's just really frustrating for a coach. As you see, she misses the first attempt, and 4 Bishop Luers Knights around her. It doesn't matter. Ayana Patterson still gets it to go and makes it look easy.
The top rebounders for Bishop Luers, Anna Parent, averaging 8.3 rebounds a game, and Addie Shank, 13.1 rebounds per game, both in the vicinity of Ayana Patterson, but neither of them able to do it. Parent takes a 3, nothing but net for Bishop Luers, 5-3 start. The Knights don't want the Spartans to run away just quite yet. Allie Stevens, another 3 from the same spot. No good, and the board goes to Bishop Luers. Parent playing point guard for Bishop Luers. Stock guarding her, the other point guard for the Spartans. Parent with a hook shot, no connection. Patterson down low, fades away, and can't put up a nice shot. Turnover. Ball back to the Knights.
What the Knights need to do is what Addie Shank did right there, getting a body in front of Ayana Patterson and creating some contact. The refs are going to let it play, it looks like, and that's what they're going to need to do all night to disturb Ayana Patterson.
The referees we just introduced looking like they have a pretty long whistle tonight. It's compared pretty differently to some of the past games we've seen played at Spartan Arena, especially the South Bend Washington game where the whistles were flying all over the basketball court.
And in that game, we saw Ayana Patterson get the ball, get fouls really early, but in that, it really didn't throw her off when she came back in the game.
The Homestead band going crazy. They know who the best player on Bishop Luers is. They did their research as well as us. Addie Shank caused a turnover distraction from the Homestead Spartan Alliance Band. Royce drives inside to Patterson, double guarded, and gets it stolen away. Great defensive possession. And it sounds like every time Addie Schenk has the ball in her hands, there's going to be some booing as the bank is called no good. And the offensive board goes to Bishop Luers. Parent, no good. Ball on the ground and hit out of bounds. That's going to be called out on Sela Irick.
Spartans are doing a really good job on the defensive side, only allowing the one open look, which Anna Parent was able to knock down. And right now, we've talked about the slow tempo in the pregame, and that's exactly what the Knights are doing, just playing at their tempo. There's no shot clock, so there's no reason to force anything.
Maggie Kinsley thought she had Allie Stevens, wasn't there, and so far this has been a really, really strong defensive possession by Bishop Luers. Pretty abnormal, as Coach Barker likes to emphasize a pretty quick start on the scoring end.
And the zone seems to be throwing off the Spartans on the offensive side. They've gotten some good open looks. Allie Stevens mainly. She's 1 for 2 right now from behind the arc. But the Homestead Spartans are just going to need to find an open player and get the shot to go.
You hear the noise, and that's how you know Addie Schenk has the ball in her hands. This is catching us a little bit off guard. We were unaware of what was going to happen at this game. The band really getting into it. The first home game that they are at. Schenk on the right wing, driving on Patterson to silence the crowd. Dishes it out, mid-range shot. No good, almost a wedgie. Parent puts the shot up, and no good. She'll head to the free throw line. Anna Parent has the 3 points for Bishop Luers so far, and she looks to extend.
And on the season, she's been the leading scorers for the Knights, 13.3. And that is going to be her going to the line is going to be really important because Molly Stock picks up her second foul in this one. She may have to come out now, and she's already got 2 fouls a little over 4 minutes. That's going to be a problem for Coach Barker.
Into the game comes Evie Bottoms for Molly Stock as she's going to head to the bench early in this one. Huge takeout as the second free throw no good, boarded by Patterson. Bottoms now to run point for Homestead with Stock out of the game. Kinsley down low, wide open. Allie Stevens, her third attempt, it's good. Allie Stevens feeling the heat right now.
Allie Stevens is going to shoot the ball no matter what as Coach Barker is bringing a press now. Ayanna Patterson being the main player in that press, but she's never scared to shoot it. She's shooting 36% from behind the arc this season.
Parent turns it over. Patterson trying a fast break. Gets fouled. They'll call the shot on the ground before. The foul's on the ground before the shot could go up. Stays with Homestead.
And that's what a lot of teams do, just foul Ayanna Patterson. That's the easiest way to stop her just because of how good she is.
Patterson missing another shot, a little bit off her game tonight so far. 1 for 4 from the field. Anna Parent drives inside, picks up another foul. This one gonna go on the new point guard for Homestead, Evie Bottoms.
And Evie Bottoms has been a really important player for Coach Barker. She's been the 6th man on this team right now, and she's only averaging 1.9 points per game, but she has still been a very important role player.
Evie Bottoms, that foul was not actually going to be on her. That's going to be on Allie Stevens, who has 6 of Homestead's 8 points early in this game. Allie Stevens, not someone who usually gets into foul trouble. Don't think there's much to worry about for her. We'll keep an eye on her fouls. It's the second free throw, no good. And a Parent 1 for 4 from the line to start. Rocket pass down low to Patterson. Back out to Stevens for number 4 attempt, no good. And a Parent picking up the pace for Luers. And there it is. Addie Schenk has the ball in her hand and gets rid of it. IHSAA has no rule against this jeering by the crowd. And a Parent to her sister Maggie Parent. Luers trying to get some form of offense going. around Shank at the top of the key, looking to create a play. Great defensive stand for the Spartans so far. Luers hasn't even gotten an open look for a shot yet. And the ball tipped and stolen by Emma Royce and turned right back over. Maggie Kinsley wasn't looking for the basketball. Shank drives in, no good, and rebounded by Evie Bottoms.
And a really solid defensive possession for the Spartans. They had an attempt there, and they were just all over it. Shank has not looked good to start this game, and she's averaging a double-double on the season.
Patterson, free throw line, Kinsley, corner three. It's good for Maggie Kinsley. Homestead hot from the three-point line already in this ball game.
And that's a great sign for Coach Barker. Maggie Kinsley is only shooting 14% from three on the season, and it's great to see her get one go. And you just look, she gets set, and when she gets set, she's able to knock it down more easily. Just a great shot there for her and getting open, and this lead is extending to 7 as Luers has not been able to do anything on the offensive side.
And how about that vision from Ayanna Patterson, seeing the open player in the corner. Wide open three for Maggie Kinsley, buried. Ball on the ground, and that's going to be a jump ball called. Possession is going to stay with Bishop Luers. (11-4). All the points for Bishop Luers has come from Anna Parent, the senior point guard. And almost 2 more, but shot doesn't fall. Patterson, one-on-one, can't lay it in, and called out on the rebound.
Patterson really struggling to start this game. She's now 1 for 5, very uncharacteristic start for her, especially with smaller players on her. While she is going up against a 6-foot Addie Shank, she usually is able to do whatever she wants at will.
Into the game is Anna Zimmerman for Bishop Luer. Open three, taken, and knocked down, buried for Sela Irick. Luers only down 4. Underneath, Patterson, and gets the shot in the basket. You see a clap of approval as she had missed her last 5 shots. Foul called on Sydney Freem on the floor. Sela Irick to inbound for Bishop Luers, looking to stay in this game. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Anna Parent drives in, needs to put up a shot, and it's stolen away by Evie Bottoms. Great steal to end the first quarter. Homestead leads barely by 13-7.
Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead High School, as Bishop Luers has made a dent in a Homestead early in this game. Only 13 points put on the board for the Lady Spartans, a little bit surprising.
It seems like a slow start for the Spartans because it is. Right now, Homestead is 5 of 11, and even though that's only a little under 50% This team on the season is shooting 48%. It's lower than their season average, and it just seems like a slow start, especially for Ayanna Patterson, only going 2 of 6 in the first quarter.
Right now, Molly Stock into the game, but Evie Bottoms stays in. Allie Stevens, 3, no good. Offensive board for Patterson, and puts it in the basket. Ayanna Patterson, 6 points already tonight. She's 3 for 7. Ball swatted out of the sky by Ayanna Patterson, but they're going to call a shooting foul on Maggie Kinsley. Homestead's 5th foul already in this first half.
And to start the game, we didn't think that the refs were going to be too touchy with an early drive by Ayanna Patterson, drawing a lot of contact. They didn't call anything. But ever since then, like you said, 5 fouls already for Homestead. It could be a problem for them, especially Molly Stock. She's got 2. She's back in the game right now, but if she picks up a 3rd, she may have to sit for the rest of the half.
Coach Parker electing to bench Emma Royce for the start of the second quarter. The free throw, no good. The second one, that is. Homestead back on offense. Emma Royce had a couple open shots in that first quarter that she didn't take. That might be why Coach Parker is keeping her out of the game. Pass to Maggie Kinsley on the ground. They're going to call that one out of bounds. Her foot was on the baseline. Bishop Luers ball.
And even though Homestead has a 7-point lead, it seems like Luers is doing a really good job on the defensive end right now, just containing Ayanna Patterson, the best player for Homestead.
And speaking of that, Patterson, fast break, and they're going to call a carry on Ayanna Patterson. She's not happy with it. 5 turnovers for Homestead, 7 for Bishop Luers. Not a matchup they want to be super close in right now.
No, not at all. Homestead has kind of struggled this season, but recently they've done better with the turnovers.
Patterson, big block, one-on-one, drives to the basket and lays it in. That's why she's the number 4 rated recruit in the nation. The screaming has switched over to Anna Parent for Bishop Luers, and a double dribble called. Another turnover, number 8 for Bishop Luers. Look at Patterson on the fast break. She sees her defender laying back and just pulls up. No reason to drive in and have a chance of getting a charge called. Smart basketball by Patterson.
And even though Patterson missed 5 shots in a row in that first quarter, she's made her first 3 in this quarter, and she's got 6 boards right now. She's just showing how she can get hot so quick.
And add that to the point total, double digits for Ayanna Patterson, assisted by Emma Royce. Ball on the ground and stolen by Emma Royce. We've talked about how she can do it all, and I think that is already her 3rd steal on the night. Great job for Royce so far.
And on the season, she's averaging 1.4 steals per game, the 2nd on the team. And Homestead overall has done a really good job to disrupt other teams and force a lot of turnovers.
Emma Royce really has done a good job in this game despite being taken out of the game. Underneath shot, no good for Parent. Homestead back on offense now. They're running away with it. Patterson has gotten hot. Kinsley to the corner. Evie Bottoms for 3, knocks it down, and the Homestead Spartans are 4 for 7 on the night.
A really hot start for the Spartans from behind the arc. 4 of 7 is something Coach Parker loves to see, and the 2s have been around 50% as well. A great start for this team after a slow first quarter.
Deep 2-point shot, no good. Boarded by Emma Royce. She's in trouble, and they're going to call a turnover on Emma Royce. Coach Parker wanted the timeout, couldn't get it. And now Bishop Luers takes a timeout.
And Coach Parker's mad about that. There was no ref around him that was seeing him calling the timeout. And a lot of times when you have a player trapped, as a coach, you want to call a timeout.
Well, a turnover for Emma Royce going into the timeout by Bishop Luers. And so far this second quarter, you can tell Coach Parker has sparked some energy in the Lady Spartans as it's
one has been all Homestead. And the lead was only 5 points going into this quarter, and Homestead scored 9 straight points in this one. A great start to this quarter, and like you said, sparking a fire.
Homestead, and one of those fires have been Ayana Patterson. So far in this second quarter, she has played incredible basketball, rebounding, making her shots unlike she did in the first quarter. Great quarter for her so far.
It definitely has been, and when she's been missing, she's already got 2 of her 4 misses by herself. She has 2 offensive rebounds and 4 defensive rebounds, and she's just showing why she is so good on the season, averaging 26 and 10.7. And it is so hard to contain her, either getting points on the offensive end or getting boards on both the offensive and defensive end.
Luers to inbound, and a press is being laid out by Homestead. Pat shot no good. And the whistle called. Jump ball possession stays here with Bishop Luers.
Homestead is doing a really good job of disrupting Bishop Luers' nights. On the season, Luers is only averaging 41 points, but Homestead looking like they're going to keep them to less than that. As Luers, it's really only been Anna Parent who's been doing well in this one. She's got 4 points. Her senior counterpart, Irick, has 3, and those two make up for 7 of only 8 points 11 minutes into this one.
Parent gets her pass swatted away by Patterson, but it sticks with Bishop Luers. Drive to the basket, and it's in for Addie Shank, her first point of the day. Pump fake pass by A.V. Bottoms. Royce to Stock. Bottoms in the corner for another one. No good. And rebounded by Royce. Sticks with Homestead. Turnover. Drives to the basketball. Irick to Parent. No good. And the board for Ayana Patterson again. Royce doesn't take the shot. Kinsley to Patterson, assist, and she tries to go over the head. Throws it into the rim. Coach Parker not happy with that one. Anna Parent goes in for the layup and gets fouled by Ayana Patterson. A rough back-to-back for Patterson. She hangs her lead pretty low.
A great job by Anna Parent to attack. As you see, Homestead shooting 50% today, and Luers is less than 25%, a really bad start for the Luers offensive side, and they're going to need to turn that around if they want to get back in this one. It's a 12-point game, but on that possession there, Anna Parent doing a great job to drive on Homestead, especially when Ayana Patterson is still trying to get back. If you can get her in foul trouble, that will really help you out, as she's been on a tear this quarter.
Patterson comes out of the game for Allie Stevens. Coach Parker has a word with her over on the sidelines, probably telling her now's not the time to mess around. Only a 10-point lead now for Homestead. 4-0 run, pretty small but mighty for Bishop Luers. Stevens dribbling around the outside, and you can feel the presence without Ayana Patterson in the lineup. Homestead just passing the ball around. Stock takes a 3, and no good. Rebounded by Luers. Parent, spin move, drives to the basket, no good. Royce with the board, her 4th. Stevens takes a 3, it's way off the mark to the right. Stock underneath, Stevens, pump fake, layup, good. Allie Stevens with 8 points.
And that was created by Molly Stock. She's stepped into that point guard role this season, and she's finding the open player down low. A great pass in between defenders, and then Allie Stevens doing a great job getting her total up to 8, the second highest of anyone in this game.
Shot no good, rebounded and no good. The putback for Addie Shank doesn't fall. Homestead doubling Bishop Luers' score at the moment. Stock, right wing 3, no good. Rough start for Stock. Kinsley puts up the shot, and she can't make it. Luers has had so many opportunities to attack since Patterson has come out. So far, no luck making the ball into the hoop. Addie Shank lays it in off the glass. She has a quiet 4 points for Bishop Luers. And Homestead really isn't controlling the game we expected them to. Only a 10-point lead. Royce yet to take a shot today. Stock, pump fake. Kinsley down low. Puts up an underhand shot and gets the foul.
Especially with Ayanna Patterson out, Maggie Kinsley becomes so aggressive down low. She's playing more of that post player without Patterson. Sometimes it's Sydney Freem. They switch back and forth when they're both on the court. But on the last 2 possessions, she's being really aggressive and attacking the hoop when she can.
Kinsley, shot no good. She has made so many free throws in a row. Her last miss against Wayne. Heading after the Wayne game, she was shooting 15% from the free throw line. Coming to this game, 75%.
And she's improved a lot since that Wayne game, and it's been great for Homestead. A lot of games are won by rebounds and making free throws, and that's really important, and Maggie Kinsley has been doing both those this year.
2 misses for Maggie Kinsley. Uncharacteristic of her. Coach Parker still in a little bit of disbelief on the sideline that his team is only leading by 10 despite having major advantages all the way around on paper.
In this one, Homestead is shooting 10 for 23, while Luers is only 4 for 17. You'd expect a much bigger lead than this one, but Homestead has had their own struggles.
An apparent jump shot way too strong as Emma Royce down low to Patterson, and she lays it in for the easy 2 points. Very open, fast break for the Lady Spartans. Molly Stock running a press, and it's an over and back. Called. Look at this absolute breakdown by Bishop Luers. Patterson, wide open lane, just takes the layup.
And a great job by the 2 guards. It started with Molly Stock getting it up to Emma Royce, and then Royce having the vision to not even come down with the ball, pass it straight to Patterson, is showing that they are really good leaders on this team.
Royce to Patterson down low, and she gets fouled. Patterson, so far this game, she's rebounded since that first quarter. She heads to the free throw line. 12 points, 50% from the field, and 5 rebounds. First free throw good for AP 34.
And usually it is not until the last minute of the second quarter that you see Ayanna Patterson go to the free throw line. She gets fouled so many times, but it's really shocking to see her first attempts there. And on the season, she's been 72% from behind the free throw line, a major improvement from a season ago.
Foul called on Reese Rodahamel. Charge foul call as she lowered her shoulder to Maggie Kinsley. Bottoms bringing it up for Homestead. Molly Stock just out of the game. She's off to an early 0 for 2 start from 3. Kinsley, Patterson, Royce. 3 in the basket for Emma Royce. She doesn't shoot often, but when she does, she makes it.
And surprisingly, Emma Royce is the best percentage three-point shooter on this team, shooting 56% from behind the arc this season. She's just not she's not as shooting.
Royce lays it up, and they're going to call a travel on Emma Royce. Another turnover for Homestead. And Coach Parker having a word with the refs. He can't believe that was called a travel.
He's definitely going to be mad with that. An easy 2 points, and that the turnovers there. Luers has 14 turnovers, the same amount as points they have.
And apparent ball wobbling around, and Emma Royce gets another steal as the clock expires down to 0. A very uneventful first half for the Spartans. 31-14 Homestead lead, and now we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Jenna Lang.
Thanks, Anthony. So, Coach, a little bit lower scoring from Homestead than we're accustomed to. What did the Spartans need to do better offensively in the second half?
Well, I think we moved the ball pretty well. We just didn't take advantage of a couple opportunities to knock down some shots when we needed them. Defensively, I think we've let them do too much of their offense, getting to move the ball too much without putting a little bit more pressure on them. So that'll be a point of emphasis in the second half.
Thank you so much. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Jenna. And now, after one half of play, Homestead only up 31-14. Not the showing that they wanted. There have been some bright spots as well as getting out.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as the dance team performs in Christmas gear as we enter into the holiday season. School ended earlier today. It's winter break at Homestead High School. Now we're going to take a look at our stats from the first half with a fresh new graphic. Bishop Luers not shooting well from the field. Homestead doing all right, but not what they want to see.
And Luers only shooting 24% from the field is very hard to win a game when you're shooting that poorly. And then Homestead 48%, matching their season average. So far, a better second quarter for the Spartans, and the Bishop Luers Knights have really struggled.
Bishop Luers not on their game, but 2 for 3 from three-point range. When they've been able to get open looks, they've knocked down 2 of their shots. But the problem is getting those open looks. As you just see, Bishop Luers having 17 attempted field goals compared to Homestead's 25.
And Homestead has dominated in that three-point category, just scoring 9 more points off of that, and their lead is up to 17 in this one. But if Luers can get some more open shots from 3, they may be able to have a chance to claw their way back into it.
And then we look at the rebounds. Homestead only leading by 5, a little bit different of a story from the last 3 games where they dominated the rebounding game. 15-10, Bishop Luers, that could be really the spot of the game that's keeping them not out of this game. The rebounding has just been it.
It definitely has been, but Ayana Patterson has been doing it her way like she always has been on the season. She's up to 7 rebounds in this one. A great showing for her in that second quarter after going 1 for 6 in the first quarter.
1 for 6 in the first quarter, turning it around. Let's go 5 for 6 in the second quarter. That's the Ayana Patterson that we usually see. Now it's time to take a look at our SAC headlines of the week, starting with the Snyder girls jumping way up in the state poll with some big wins and riding a current 6-game winning streak. Snyder has jumped up to number 12 in the girls 4A media pool.
And the SAC saw a lot of teams in the top 20 to start the season in the preseason poll, but now it's just Homestead and Snyder, and it just makes that matchup even more fun on January 14th between these two here at Homestead. It's going to be a fun one, but it's great to see Snyder getting 6-game win streak here, and they started the season with 2 top 5 wins. They've had a great season so far.
Snyder is really a team that doesn't get enough credit. They have played tremendous basketball this season. They are a team to watch out for when they come to Homestead High School. That could end up being the biggest game of the year, especially considering that they are SAC rivals.
And it could very well decide the SAC. As we saw the graphic earlier, 4-0 Homestead, 2-0 Snyder. Snyder will eventually catch up in games, so it could very well decide the winner of the conference.
And on the boys' side, Jalen Jackson scores 43 points for Northrop. The senior guard had 43 in a win over number 2 team in 3A, Leo, where they won 68-59.
And the former Carroll player scoring 53. What a huge day for him. And that's the 3rd time already we've seen someone score 40 points. This is the one that is the most in the SAC this season. And your team is only helping you outscore 25 other than you. He's going to need some more help if they want to do well in the SAC this season.
Well, sharpshooter for Northrop, Devin Campos, is coming back from injury this week, so that could really help him out. Northrop basketball on Twitter was really happy about him coming back, saying their prayers. They're super, super excited to see Campos and Jackson work together on the basketball court.
And Jalen Jackson over the summer committed to UIC, but he is just going to be he's done really well playing for Indy Heat and now continuing his good play into SAC.
And tomorrow, 4 teams will be heading to the Championships of Character Classic. Wayne takes on nearby Columbia City. Snyder plays a big matchup versus Maryville. Homestead takes on Chesterton, and Northside plays Warsaw.
And it's over at Grace College, but we've got some great games. Columbia City has looked really good this season, and they are 11-0. They could really challenge Homestead in the sectional. And then Snyder Maryville should be a good game for it. Excuse me, sorry. That Columbia City team has not played that many games. This is the boys, excuse me. But Homestead is going to have a really tough matchup against Chesterton.
Chesterton has looked really strong this year, playing versus the Homestead boys team, who's looking promising with Star Fletcher Lawyer. Could be a big game. And now we have a little bonus announcement at the end of halftime. We've talked about it. We've mentioned it briefly in this game. But yesterday, 2 days ago, Allie Stevens committed to a D1 college. She announced her commitment to the University of Nebraska, Omaha. The boys team recently playing in Mackey Arena. They are a team you probably haven't heard much about, but a really good program.
And she's played well this season. She's had her struggles and up and downs, but she is committed now to University of Nebraska, Omaha. She's the 2nd leading scorer on this team, of course, behind Ayan Patterson, averaging 10.9 points per game, and she's played really well in this one.
Allie Stevens has had her showing. It was really her big show last year in many games. She shows a little bit of boom or bust, but playing with alongside Ayanna Patterson, who could have a monster game at any time. That's just going to happen. The talent is there for Allie Stevens, and that's why colleges like her so much. When we come back, it is going to be the second half of Homestead versus Bishop Luers basketball. Stay tuned and don't go away.
To get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as we are about to inbound the basketball. Homestead starts on offense. 31-14 our score heading into the second half, and I have just a slight gut feeling that this one's going to see a lot of offense.
And a really slow first quarter, but Homestead came out on fire in that second quarter, led by Yana Patterson, getting her points total over double digits.
And Homestead's probably going to look to get the ball to Patterson as much as they can as Allie Stevens takes a deep shot. No good, rebounded by Royce, her 5th rebound of the night. Royce Kinsley doesn't take the shot. And Homestead struggling against this Luers defense. Allie Stevens, 3 ball into the basket. 11 points into double digits goes Stevens. Homestead doing a press with Molly Stock. We've seen it a couple times this year. Shot no good for Rhoda Hamlet. Underneath, Patterson and lays it in with ease. 16 points for Ayanna Patterson.
We haven't seen it too many times this game compared to normal, but Ayanna Patterson getting the ball down low, it is so hard to stop her when you can get it down to her.
Swatted out of bounds by Allie Stevens. She's not a very active defensive player, getting her hand in the passing lane. Ball bounced on the half-court stripe, sticks with Bishop Luers and Anna Parent. A little bit more silent here in Spartan Arena as the Homestead band has left. We won't be hearing any more jeers from the crowd. Deep 3 ball off the side of the backboard for Sela Eyrick. Maggie Kinsley underneath to Patterson, lays it in. Ayanna Patterson playing like a beast right now on a timeout called by Bishop Luers.
And Maggie Kinsley fielding the hard pass, but finding Patterson wide open. It's really hard to lose her in transition. And now she's only 2 points away from getting to another game of 20 points, which she's done every single game.
And Homestead looking really strong coming out into the second half. So far, 38-14, 7-point run early in the first.
And Luers is going to need to find an answer because all night they have been struggling, shooting 24% in that first half, and now it's all the way down to 21.
And a little bit of a side note, possibly a note for concern. Coach Parker is not on the sideline for the second half. Saw the close-up shot of the sideline, the bench for Homestead, and they conversing for a timeout. No update on where Coach Parker is at the moment, but for now, it's going to be Kara Ankenbrook, the assistant coach, head coaching for the Lady Spartans. Anna Parent double dribbles the basketball, and another turnover for Bishop Luers. Coach Pixel can't be happy right now.
And their turnover margin is now over the amount of points they have scored, and it's definitely going to be interesting on the other side. Maggie Kinsley now is getting a turnover for an illegal screen. But it's going to be interesting to see for the Spartans how they do without Coach Parker over there on the sideline. They've started really well on a 7-0 run.
The turnovers have been the story of the game. As really, we take a look at our real-time stats. Bishop Luers 15, Homestead 9. This is feeling a little bit like some of the games earlier in the season where it was turnover mayhem on both sides. That Northridge game here at home. There's a shot, cannot fall for Reese Rodahamel. Patterson drives inside. No good, own offensive board. and gets fouled. The game versus Northridge earlier in the season combined for 38 turnovers. And right now, both teams looking like they're on pace to hit just about that margin. Patterson bodying off the glass, and she has 20 points. Great performance from Patterson every single game this season. She's had more than 20 as Bishop Luers turns the ball over again.
And as you mentioned, Ayanna Patterson every single game over 20. And right now, she's averaging 26 points on the season. She looks like she could increase that. In Homestead, they're out-rebounding Bishop Luers 10 to 20. But Ayanna Patterson in this one might be going for her third straight 30-point game.
That would be a pretty big deal for Ayanna Patterson. Maggie Kinsley doesn't get a good look, misses the shot. Bishop Luers' offense has just been completely and utterly scienced down by the Spartans. This defense has just been working for the Lady Spartans as they are now in a zone trap defense. 3 ball, no good, rebounded by Patterson. Drives into the basket, no, beautiful assist. No, Royce can't finish the shot. One of the more gorgeous passes we've seen this season from Patterson. Can't fall. 3, no good for Maggie Parent. And a foul called on the ground. It's going to go in favor of the Spartans.
And I think that's got to be one of the first times that we've seen Homestead allow an offensive rebound for Luers, just because they have been out-rebounding Luers by so much in this one. It was recently 20 rebounds to 10, doubling up the Knights. And it's been a real struggle for Bishop Luers all night long.
Royce comes out of the game for Evie Bottoms. Little bit of a struggle game for Emma Royce in this one. 6 rebounds, which is really good, but 2 missed shots. And Allie Stevens jumping a little bit, just a little bit early on the free throw. Doesn't matter. The shot was good. All Bishop Luers points have been scored by the players in the game at the moment. And apparently leading the way with 6 points, Addie Schenk with 4. Maggie Kinsley drives inside and gets an awkward but useful layup. Homestead leads 42 to 15. Their offense has just been completely explosive in the second half. Down low, Parent gets fouled underneath the basket. That is going to be the 3rd foul on Maggie Kinsley. She'll likely come out of the game. We'll have to wait and see what the interim head coach, Kara Ankenbrook, does. Free throw good for Parent, bringing her total up to 7.
And Maggie Kinsley is another one of those players that is really aggressive on defense, drawing a lot of fouls. Well, excuse me, getting a lot of fouls on the defensive side, but she's a great role player for the Spartans team and does a lot as the leader.
Allie Stevens, deep 3, good. She is a sharp shooter for sure. She can make the shot from anywhere on the basketball court, and she's showing it tonight. She has made some outrageous threes in this game. That foul is going to be called on Maggie Kinsley, her 4th. Look how deep Allie Stevens is. That's an NBA length 3 that she just drains with no hesitation.
And she's 4 of 8 on the night. And it's really just been her and Ayanna Patterson, 5 of 9 total. But those two have been leading the Spartans, scoring 34 of the 45 points so far in this one. And Homestead really hasn't needed anybody else to step up.
Pass tipped by Patterson and tries to get recovered by Addie Schenk, goes out of bounds. Molly Stock coming out of the game, as well as Reese Rodehamel. Correction, Molly Stock just running to get on offense a little bit. Stays in the game, has a word with assistant coach Ankenbrook.
It's interesting to see right now Evie Bottoms bringing the ball up with the 3 guards on the court.
Allie Stevens in and out from beyond the arc, taking a heat check. And the parent has not left the game so far. Pass it over to her sister, Maggie Parent. Great defense by Homestead in man right now. Not trying to trap and force turnovers. And the foul called away from the basketball. Another foul on the Spartans. That one is going to be on Ayana Patterson, her second foul.
And they're going to call a double foul on both Addie Schenk and Ayana Patterson. I don't think we've seen that all season, but either way, it'll stay with the Knights.
First time this game. Ayana Patterson raising her arms up, not wanting to make contact with Addie Schenk. Patterson with 20, Schenk with 4. Homestead up 45-16. Shot 3, no good. Rebounded by Evie Bottoms. Stock to Royce, and transition, she lays it in. Emma Royce has seen a lot more offensive action in the recent parts of the season. That's been another reason why Homestead's offense has just been clicking.
And it seems like to start the season, she was a little timid to shoot the ball, but she scored 15 points against South Bend, Washington, and that was really her breakout game. And she shoots the ball so well, she just needs to do it more often.
And to be fair, she is a sophomore, so obviously she's going to be a little bit timid. There's a foul called on Anna Zimmerman. And Homestead will get the ball underneath the basket, called on the floor. Right now, Coach Pixley doesn't seem to be very happy, but, I mean, what can you expect when you're going against Homestead? Eventually, they're going to hit their stride, and you can't keep it close for much longer, as Homestead's just completely run away with this one.
And you're playing against the number 6 team in the state. It's going to be a tough battle no matter what.
Patterson, no good, gets 3 rebounds in a row, bringing her to the double-double range of the 9. She gets sent to the free throw line.
Ayana Patterson still getting it whenever she can. She's getting so many boards. As you take a look, she's got 20 points, 9 of 18, which is not a good shooting night for her. It's crazy to say that 50% is not good, but she's still got 11 rebounds as well.
Patterson at the free throw line, 1:38 left in the third quarter, and she knocks it down. 22 points for Patterson. Needs 8 more to get her 3rd straight 30-point game.
And she's just caught fire recently. We thought she was going to have a bad game, starting 1 for 6 in this one. But ever since that start of the second quarter, she's played so well and led this team. And she's outscoring Bishop Luers by herself.
3 shot, good for Anna Parent. One of the bright spots for Bishop Luers in this game. She has double digits with 10 points.
She is the only player for Luers with double digits. She has been the leader on this team, and she is the leading scorer coming into this game.
Patterson, sky hook, knocks it in, and look at this. If you haven't been impressed by Ayana Patterson already, take a look at this. How many days since she hasn't had a double-double? 24. That was versus Huntington North. How many days since she hasn't had 20-plus points in game? 307. That was last season in the regional semifinals. And how many days since she has scored single digits in a basketball game? 670, dating back to before the COVID-19 pandemic was even a thing.
And that is crazy to hear. It's not even like the season was canceled last year. She has just been on a tear, getting a huge block.
Huge block for Patterson, leading to a Stevens fast break. No good. Patterson fights for the rebound and gets it. Royce, Stock, 3, good! Molly Stock knocks it down, breaking her cold streak, and gets 3 points on the stat sheet.
And she's finally getting her first points of this game, but a great job by Homestead to get the missed shots and then just find the open player and hit the open shot.
All the passing and another assist for Emma Royce. She has done everything in this ball game. 3 shot, no good for Ruthie Burton. Stock in transition to Patterson under the basket and lays it in off the glass. 27 points for Ayanna Patterson. Watch out, she's getting hot. And that's the end of the third quarter. Homestead completely dominates pass, team basketball in Spartan Arena.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as the mercy rule has been put into effect. It looked like when the score was 24-14, Homestead was not going to reach it. It looked like they didn't have a chance, and now here we are, 57-19.
And we've heard Homestead doubling teams, but they are tripling Luers right now. A great third quarter to get that lead out even more.
Homestead on a dominant run, 26-4 streak in that third quarter, completely pushing them way ahead of Bishop Luers and out. The band is back. If you couldn't tell already at Homestead High School, they're going crazy. This time for Reese Rodahamel.
And it seems like they change it every time, and it's been working because Luers has struggled so much in this game. They've had as many turnovers as points in this game so far, and the offensive struggles have just continued over and over.
A substitution coming into the game for Bishop Luers. Anna Zimmerman comes out of the game, as well as Celia Eyrich. Some bench players getting a little bit of time for Bishop Luers, getting a little bit of showing. Homestead keeping their starters out on the basketball court, looking for a chance to rack up some more points. Patterson assists Maggie Kinsley, and there was no doubt about that shot going in. Beautiful stroke by Kinsley. Homestead playing aggressive defense as the ball goes out of bounds on Reese Rodahamel.
Continuing the struggle, but on the possession before that, Ayanna Patterson, she's been getting her name in the stat sheet, but for different reasons recently. Assists. She knows that she draws so much attention down low, and when she does, she finds open players.
Could this be another? No. Three barely missed by Allie Stevens. Could have been another assist for Patterson. Stevens works the yellow paint and lays it in for her 16th point of the night.
And those two Spartans have been on fire today. They've scored 43 points combined. Ayanna Patterson obviously outscoring Luers by herself, but Allie Stevens may do it too.
Stock in transition to Kinsley underneath the basket, no good. Board by Patterson and one. She's headed for the free throw line for a chance for the third straight game with 30 points.
And Maggie Kinsley missing the easy layup, but Ayanna Patterson's there to back up her senior counterpart. And like you said, a chance to get to 30 points for 3 straight games. She has been so good in these last 3 games.
Well, I was a little bit wrong when writing the pregame script, saying she might have trouble getting there. And she does. Ayanna Patterson, 30 points in 3 games. 34, 33, 30 coming out of the game with 5:29 left. Standing ovation from the crowd.
And there's a chance that she may sit the rest of this one with the lead now at 45 points for the Spartans. There's no reason to play her, especially with the running shot clock too. That'll make the game shorter, but there's no reason to risk anything. She's at 30 points now.
And Homestead is playing for something in this game. They're looking to allow the second least amount of points on the season. The least being 16 against Wayne. And ball goes out of bounds off of Homestead. Substitutions coming into the game for the Spartans. It's Claire Landergan in for an amazing performer of the night. Allie Stevens shot 4 for 10 from the three-point line with 16 points and missed everything. Emma Royce comes out of the game for Allie Stevens.
And Emma Royce, even though she didn't score that much, she had 5.7 rebounds, number of steals, number of assists. And then Allie Stevens, the second leading scorer of this game. The three best players so far in this one for Homestead just came out, which means a lot of players will get more playing time that don't usually get a lot of it.
And we'll see, the typical big three for Homestead is Ayanna Patterson, Allie Stevens, and Molly Stock. Stock was out for about half of this game, foul trouble early. She stays in right now. Maybe assistant coach Kara Ankenbrook might be giving her a chance to get some points.
And it could definitely help her get in a rhythm. We saw her start 0 for 3. She's only taken 3-pointers, but she most recently got her last shot from behind the arc to go, and it could definitely help her get into a rhythm going into some important games coming up on Tuesday.
Reese Rhoda-Hamill makes the first free throw for 2 points tonight, missed the second one, and Freem with the rebound. Stock takes a three-pointer, too strong. And the board goes to Bishop Luers, but a jump ball forced by the senior Maggie Kinsley. Evie Bottoms into the game once again for Molly Stock coming out. That will probably be the last time she touches the basketball court tonight.
Right now, it'll just be good for those bench players to get more and more experience. Right, there's over 3:30 left in this one. While there is a running shot clock, that won't give them as much playing time as it would if there wasn't one, but still some good playing time for them.
Maggie Kinsley lays the ball into the basket to tie her season high of 9 points. Luers back on offense. Maggie Parent and a travel called. How about this stat? We don't have an actual stat for you guys, but I've been keeping track. 0 points for the player that the band is jeering at the time. I don't believe that there has been a single shot made when a player is getting yelled at by the band, as the rest of the bench for the Spartans come into the game. Sinai Sandlin getting some minutes. Only a freshman for Homestead. Claire Landergan takes the three and switches it. You already know the starters on the bench are loving it right now.
And Claire Landergan, she has recently scored her season high and career high her first season on the varsity roster. 5 points was what it was, but she's shooting 30% from behind the arc, and it's only improving now.
Sandlin with the offensive board. And a substitution timeout announced by the referees as Brooklyn Freem, the rest of the bench, comes in for Homestead. Sydney Freem takes a shot, no good. Luers back into offense. It's Keegan Gatchell for Luers, bringing the ball up the court. Lillian Werman gets it stolen away by Sinai Sandlin. 1:50 left in this ball game. Hillary Adams brings it up for the Spartans. Claire Landergan pump fake out to Brooklyn Freem to Hillary Adams. Freem, deep three, good! Brooklyn Freem knocks it down from beyond the arc. 72 points for the Spartans.
And Brooklyn Freem, only a freshman playing on varsity. She had only been 0 for 1 coming into this game, but 3-point field goals. That's really where the game has been so separated. 2 of 9 for Bishop Luers, 22%, and Homestead, 48%, hitting 10 threes in this game. a huge advantage for the Spartans.
The three-point game has been so important for the Lady Spartans, and you see it tonight in play, in action. They shoot 37% from beyond the arc, a lot better than most women's basketball teams, most high school women's basketball teams. And that is why they have just controlled the second half of play.
And a lot of it has started from the defensive end. Going into halftime, Luers had 14 points, and now they're at 21, only 7 points through nearly 2 quarters. It just shows how good this defense has been.
Sandlin with another rebound for the Spartans. She takes it underneath. 1 minute left in play on what will go down as another Homestead Spartan win as they go into double digits within the win column. Bishop Luers dropping down to 7 and 6. 3 no good for Claire Landergid. Brooklyn Freem on the rebound, can't put it in. Sydney Freem to inbound. The running shot clock, 30 seconds left. Snai Sandlin puts it up and no good. Board for Gatchell. Bishop Luers trying to get some garbage time points. The 50-point deficit. Blocked by Sydney Freem and steps out of bounds. This is going to run out the clock. Homestead is going to win this ball game 72-21 as Adams crosses the timeline. Another Homestead Spartan win, another amazing performance out of Ayanna Patterson, and another good shooting night from beyond the arc.
And the third largest win of the season for the Spartans, win by 51 points. The only larger wins were Concordia and Wayne. A great game for the Spartans.
And it's crazy how this game progressed, because Homestead, it looked like they were struggling, and then they turned it around, outscoring Bishop Luers from the 24-14 mark, 48-7.
And it is really crazy to see such a big run by the Spartans there, and it was all led by Ayanna Patterson.
And we're going to go down to Ayanna Patterson, who's standing by with our beloved Jenna Lane.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm here with senior Ayanna Patterson. And Ayanna, slow start tonight, but the Spartans really got it rolling in the second quarter. So what got Homestead going tonight?
It's just the energy with everybody coming into the gym, and, we had to just play Homestead basketball. I mean, this is the largest crowd that we have to play in front of, so, we have to get together as a team and rely on our team chemistry.
Another 30-10 performance for you tonight. Are you playing the best basketball of your career right now?
I would say right now I am, but it can always get better. So always working and always want to get better and get better in every game.
Big win tonight to stay out in front in the SAC. How bad do you guys want the conference championship this year after missing out on it last year?
Oh, this is a big revenge year because we didn't get it last year. We're going for it this year. So we're going for state, and then the SAC is just down the road. So that's what we're going for.
And big one-day event next Tuesday, playing Fishers and Hamilton Southeastern. How much do those games help this team as you continue on in the season?
Well, it helps us a lot, being able to measure where we're at in the state, and going to playing against 2 top 5 teams in one day is really great to mimic regionals and what we're going to see down the road. So that's really what we're going for.
Thank you so much. Anthony, back to you.
And those 2 top 5 teams are going to be critical experience creators for the Homestead Spartans. They play Fishers and Hamilton Southeastern, 2 teams that they could potentially see in the regionals, as we take a look at our full game stats.
And the craziest part about this, only 5 made field goals for Bishop Luers, and Homestead 28. Just complete dominance by Homestead. Bishop Luers nearly matching their turnovers and points, a terrible sign. And then the rebounds game, it was 15-10 at halftime. And in the second half, Homestead out-rebounded Luers 20-3, complete dominance overall.
And what's crazy to think about is that Homestead had just as many made field goals as Luers had attempted field goals, really showing this Homestead domination, forcing them to turn over the basketballs. You see Bishop Luers 20 turnovers to Homestead's only 10. We checked in on that at halftime. Homestead had 10 turnovers at halftime. Did not turn the ball over once in the second half. Incredible. And Homestead from the free throw line shot well as well, 75% from the line. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's live stream. Thank you for watching the game tonight. The final score, 72-21. On behalf of the Homestead Live crew, including producer Caleb Woods, Twetcher, Trevor Newhouse, our 4 camera operators, sideline reporter Jenna Lane, and color commentator Noah Lancz, I'm Anthony Gery saying goodbye for now. But don't go away, as the boys basketball broadcast will start in about 10 minutes. Be sure to catch that game on Homestead High School Media on this YouTube channel. Have a great night, everyone.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.